Hi, this is Stephen Budden from Classic Typewriter. This is a tutorial for the Groma Kolibri. The case buttons on either side. This latch pushes down and slides out. There we go. Notice that these pins here, they enter the holes in the bottom of the front feet, and the back just rests in there. This pad, if present, holds the machine down. So as you're putting it back in the case, just make sure you line up those holes. And sometimes they really click down and sometimes they gently click down, sort of depending on how worn they've been. This is one style of case. There's also a zipper style of case. So there we go. I'll give you a little demo with this. One of the most beautiful, streamlined, flat, historically interesting typewriters. Not really a carriage lock on this one. Often has wear here and here from where, for one thing, the carriage lever has a spring. It often bends down and hits this, either when people are returning the carriage with a downward motion, or when it's in the case, or when it's in a bag or something. If you turn this, see how there's two levers here? There's two knobs here. If you turn that one, if you loosen this one, inner one by turning it counterclockwise, you relieve the ratcheting mechanism. If you turn it back clockwise, you turn back on the ratcheting. This here has single or double spacing, fairly simple. These are the margins. You push them down and then move them over. I have a little cut on my finger, hence this band-aid. This is the paper roller release, paper bale. The margin releases this button here. Generally metal, plastic on some of the later Luxus type models from the 60s. This paper support just turns up manually. There's no tabs on these. Oh, here's the other carriage release jammed in there. This cover lifts off rear first. There you go. Now you can see a little bit more of the inner workings. Get this down a little bit. There you go. I wound this back onto the original spools, which look like that. Fairly easy to wind. There is an automatic ribbon reversal based on how empty the ribbon gets on one side. And you can also use the manual switch down here to reverse which way the ribbon's spinning. These only take black ribbons. Notice that there's a little piece here that goes into this notch on either side here. So you essentially just line that up. It helps if you push it all the way down so it's inside this lining. It'll help this not hit it. Some people still stick felt or something under here. I can see they had on this one once because this is kind of bent in. People stick something soft in there and then pinch it. Clearly it didn't work in this case, or that was already like that. So this is just a beautiful machine. Take out this roller. And look at the bottom's all enclosed, which is nice to avoid dust. Paper, there's no left-hand page guide, so you just guide it in by hand. These two little rollers move. This paper's like that because this paper itself is not very square. This releases the rollers, allows you to straighten it. Move it over to the margin. Just a beautiful, relatively quiet sound. A nice clunky feel. Not that far for the type plugs to move, so you can get pretty fast with these. Nothing refined, just something that's considered bulletproof and rarely will do you wrong. I've never seen the drawband slip off like it does on some other models. These come in a variety of colors. This is one of the prettiest. I like the black and the maroon. There are also a series of two-tones and some nice greens. And I've seen a red, which is really rare. So this comes from the 1950s, and I hope you really enjoy this machine. I can't think of any problems that you might run into. This is the backspace key. This has a nice QWERTY US keyboard with a $sign. Usually they're quartz and they're converted, so they have all these weird European keys over here, which makes it a little disorienting for some people. This is a nice, straightforward, simple keyboard with some familiar keys. Shift lock, this would be the margin release, no markings on that. Also the shift here. Nice little different variances of logos in the back, but I like that one. So, thank you so much. This is Steven with Classic Typewriter. Hope you enjoy this beautiful machine.